All right, hello there. Welcome to the channel. My name is James, and here at 20th and 21st Movies, we are about all things cinema. All right, today I'm excited to share with you my thoughts on a recent release from the Criterion Collection that I have to say really is a very powerful film. It's a powerful documentary type film. It's really up my alley, the type of film that I really like to dig into sometimes. I love entertainment. I love entertaining films, action thrillers, good dramas, films that make me laugh. But sometimes I want to sit back and enjoy a film that really teaches me something about what's going on in the world, tackles a subject matter that I don't know much about, that I get to learn a little bit more about. And All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, a title from Laura Poitras with Nan Golden, is a title that gave me all of that. When this title was announced by Criterion a few months ago, earlier this year, that it would be released this year, I had absolutely no idea what this film was about. I had never heard of it. This is a film from 2022, but the cover captured my attention. And so I thought, what is this movie about? What's going on with this film? So on the other side of this, I want to talk about what this film is about, what I think about this movie. I want to talk about the special features and talk about the audio and video quality and whether or not this is a title that you ought to consider picking up as part of this 50% off Barnes & Noble Criterion Collection sale that's still going on in July 2024 as of the time this video is going, and really at any time of the year. This is a title that I think is one that you ought to consider, just given the subject matter that it deals with. If you're interested in documentaries and taking a look at some serious subject matters, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed from Criterion is one that you might want to consider adding to your shopping cart. So let's talk about it. All the Beauty and the Bloodshed from Laura Poitras with Nan Golden is a 2022 film that is very impactful. It deals with the opioid crisis through the eyes of photographer and activist Nan Golden, as told by director Laura Poitras. And it's a great portrait of the life of photographer Nan Golden, a world-renowned photographer Nan Golden. It really takes a look at her life and her upbringing and her background and how she became involved as an activist in the movement against a movement in the opioid crisis and some of the activities that she led during this time. And it's just a fascinating look at her story, a fascinating look at this very serious subject matter and some of the parties who are involved in it, which I didn't have any idea about any of this history. So if you look on the inside of this case, you see All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. You see these pill bottles that have been spilled on the floor. If you take out the little leaflet here, of course, you see a picture of Nan Golden there, and you take the disc out, you'll see a picture of Nan Golden during one of her demonstrations where she led people to basically protest at museums that were partially funded by a family that was heavily involved in marketing some of these drugs that have played a heavy part in the opioid crisis. So it's just some of the historical elements that I just knew nothing about that I found extremely fascinating about this particular documentary. So let me just show you some stuff about this film and let's kind of get into it a little bit. This is All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. It's a 2022 film from director Laura Poitras. This is the director here, Laura Poitras. A little bit about her is that, she's a documentary filmmaker known for her deeply humanistic storytelling. And this is a great example of it, this story, because she really takes a deep look at the life of Nan Golden from the time of her childhood up to current day and just shows a lot about her as a person and just her as a human being and what has happened to her during the course of her life and how that plays into her life today as an activist in this movement. Very fascinating. She has a filmography that includes films like Citizen Four and Risk, and she has consistently tackled pressing social issues with a unique blend of intimacy and urgency. This film about the opioid crisis is an example of that. And All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, of course, is no exception. Her direction is both empathetic and unflinching, and allowing Nan Golden's story, to unfold with raw honesty and emotional depth. It just plays out in such a beautiful way. It's just a beautifully made documentary that tackles a very serious subject matter, but does it through the lens and through the eyes of this a woman who has taken a leadership position as an activist to make a difference in the lives of people who have been negatively affected by this crisis. So just incredible stuff, incredible stuff from this director, Laura Poitras. Of course, the photographer and activist Nan Golden is here. You'll see her featured throughout this documentary. Of course, the picture on the right is what is on the inside of this case here. And then the picture on the left, of course, is a picture of Nan Golden. A lot of her works, her photographic works, are featured in museums around the country. She's a world-renowned photographer. And of course, her work, explores themes of love and loss. In this particular documentary, we see her not only on an artistic journey, but also, just her transformation into an activist. So she is an artist who has become an activist in this movement, fighting against the devastating impact of the opioid crisis, specifically drugs like OxyContin, how they have been, in some cases, marketed in a way to take advantage of people by a particular company called Purdue Pharma, owned by the Sackler family. Agents that I had absolutely no idea who they were or have any history about, but it's just interesting learning about that through the perspective of this documentary filmmaker and this activist. So it's definitely something I want to explore a little bit more about, to learn more about it myself. But this documentary does a very nice job of presenting its case. So her battle against the Sackler family, who own Purdue Pharma, is a central focus of this film, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, and her personal experiences with addiction in her coming up and her struggles with her family, and her personal recovery also provide a very human backdrop to this story. So just awesome stuff all the way around. As you look at the life of Nan Golden, of course, you see here the opioid. I am doing a horrible job pronouncing it. The opioid crisis and Purdue Pharma. So you see the opioid crisis and Purdue Pharma. You see here OxyContin makers settlement plan divides victims of opioid crisis. Now it's up to the Supreme Court. So this is recent news. Purdue to pay $8 billion to settle the opioid probe. So just recent news surrounding, Purdue Pharma in this crisis. That is the center point of the story of All the Beauty and the Bloodshed. Of course, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, this film is the winner of the Golden Lion at the 79th Venice Film Festival in 2022. And of course, you see here activist Nan Golden and director Laura Poitras pictured here. So yeah, so All the Beauty and the Bloodshed, has gotten a lot of acclaim as a documentary, and has received a number of awards, been nominated for different awards, and it's just an amazing film that if it wasn't for Criterion, I would not know about this film. So let me read the back of the case here. It says, fearless documentary filmmaker Laura Poitras' career-long pursuit of truth and justice finds powerful expression in an epic story of art, activism, and survival. Made in collaboration with renowned artist Nan Golden, All the Beauty and the Bloodshed entwines the mission of Pain, an advocacy group she founded to raise awareness about the billionaire Sackler family's integral role in the ongoing crisis of opioid overdoses. With an intimate journey through Golden's life, from her rebellious adolescence and immersion in New York City's thriving underground art scene to her personal experiences of addiction and the AIDS epidemic, Through it all, her indelible photographs and candid reflections on memory and trauma revealed her unyielding solidarity with marginalized communities that refuse to remain silent. So, this is an activist that is dealing with marginalized communities. This is a documentary filmmaker that took hold of her story and they worked together to deliver an absolute masterstroke of a documentary called All the Beauty in the Bloodshed. This is so powerful to watch. It comes in at 122 minutes, so just over 2 hours. And I was mesmerized throughout the entirety of it. It is just an amazing story to soak in. Like I said, I didn't know much about this particular crisis before watching this. Of course, I've heard of the opioid crisis and I have a little bit of an idea what it's about, but this sheds light on it in a way and shares aspects of it that I didn't know anything about. So it's definitely interesting to learn about that. And I definitely want to explore more of it. So that's part of what I love about releases from Criterion is just the discovering new filmmakers, discovering films I had never heard of, films that I probably would never even hear about, or even if I did, might not even think about exploring. And with Criterion, I'm encouraged to take a look at these films, give them a chance. And 90% of the time, I'm very pleased with the experience and I come out learning something new about the world, or I'm entertained, or I discover a filmmaker in a way that I'm like, wow, that was pretty awesome. This is one of those, wow, that was pretty awesome experiences, not from an entertainment standpoint, but just from learning a little bit more about what's going on out there that I should be aware of. So, All the Beauty in the Bloodshed comes with a high recommendation based upon the story alone. Now, let me share my screen here because I do want to share a little bit about this activist and Nan Golden. She was responsible for founding a group called PAIN, and PAIN is Prescription Addiction Intervention Now. So that's the advocacy group that Nan Golden founded in 2017. So it's an American advocacy organization founded by artist Nan Golden to respond to the opioid crisis, specifically targeting the Sackler family for manufacturing, promoting, and distributing the drug OxyContin through their corporation, Purdue Pharma. So that's really the headline of what this documentary is pretty much all about, is this activist fight against the influence of the Sackler family. And what she did is she led protests throughout a number of museums that had been receiving what the Sackler family apparently has done is they've taken a lot of their money and they've funneled it through these different museums and artistic exhibit places. And so what she's done is she said, look, we're going to protest some of these places and say, look, don't accept any more money from this family. They are, causing a huge problem in this country with the opioid crisis. And so we need to stand against them. And she's actually had a pretty big impact in some of these museums now turning away the Sackler money. And so she and her group, PAIN, are definitely making a difference. So I found that to be pretty interesting. So I just wanted to share that with you. But yeah, great stuff. I mean, overall, this is a really nice addition from Criterion. I enjoyed the film. I think it looks perfectly fine on this Blu-ray. It's a very nice, clean, clear picture. It's a film from 2022 and it looks great. I mean, it's a new high definition digital master approved by the director. You get a 5.1 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack. So overall, I was very happy with the audio and the visual presentation here. It looked really nice on my TV here on the main level, and I was absolutely pleased with it. It's a beautiful looking Blu-ray image of a film that was shot just a couple of years ago, so that's to be expected. And of course, the sound is also, very, very strong. The special features on here are also quite nice because you do get a new interview with Poitras. You get conversations with Poitras, Golden, and co-producer and PAIN activist Megan Kapler. So that was really interesting to listen to their perspectives on the movement, their perspectives in the making of this film. PAIN activist Harry Cullen and lawyer and PAIN member Mike Quinn discussing the making of the film, and the other featuring Golden on art and activism. So really nice special features on here. It's not an incredibly packed edition, but you do get enough to get a little bit more information about the film and the people who were a part of it. I like this little pamphlet here, All the Beauty in the Bloodshed. See a little picture of Nan Golden there earlier in her life. She's now in her 60s. So I love the way that Nan Golden is featured during different aspects of her life and her coming up. The documentary deals with issues with her family. Um, she of course had a sister who had some problems, and her dealings with her parents, and just fascinating stuff. And then tying all that into her current mission in life from an activist standpoint. Then you have here The Highest Stakes from Sarah Schulman, which talks about how these two powerful, influential collaborators, Laura Poitras and Nan Golden, came together to make this amazing film. So it talks about how their paths came together and partly the making of the film. So I think that's fascinating. You definitely want to read this amazing essay from Sarah Schulman. And overall, I would say this is a very strong addition from Criterion. It's one of those films that makes you think. It deals with a very serious subject matter, and it's one that has my highest recommendation if you like documentaries, if you like and appreciate films that maybe are a departure from your normal entertainment, but go into more of something that can help educate one about something going on in the world. If you're interested in documentaries like that, All the Beauty in the Bloodshed comes highly, highly recommended. I learned a lot from it. It challenges me to learn more about what's going on in this space. And if you're interested, definitely consider picking this one up during the 50% off Criterion Collection sale. So that's my thoughts on this edition, Spine 1210 from the Criterion Collection, All the Beauty in the Bloodshed. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think about this film if you've seen it? Is this the type of film that you think might be up your alley? If so, let me know what you think in the comment section below if you plan to pick this up during the July sale. And then also, what other titles are you picking up in the month of July as part of this 50% off sale? Let me know all that in the comment section below. And as always, thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you next time at the movies. Peace.